My name is Gianni Russo, a.k.a. Carlo, the infamous son-in-law from The Godfather. I'm now known as the Hollywood Godfather, and this is my story.
Before all of the wins in my portfolio, I was a little boy diagnosed with polio. Experimenting with cures, I tried every one. Felt everything in my right, but my left was numb. Walking with a limp, like will I ever run? Once again, or is this it? Am I forever done? Living in the hospital was never fun. Some people were cool, but not everyone.
Welcome, everybody. It's time for another Hollywood Godfather podcast. And Jeannie Raymond, my co-host. How are you, my darling?
I am great, staying good and toasty warm here in Utah. I don't know what the temperature is, but I'd say smoking hot.
No, but the interesting thing, and we were just reflecting before we came on the show, that so many people are sending positive remarks about our new format that we just finished, and you'll be watching it over the next few weeks, of my first 30 years in Las Vegas. So again, it's important that you send cards, make opinions, do whatever just to keep growing.
Yes.
And today's show is about a mailbag. So you're going to hear that we really are concerned, want to hear what you want to say and hear, and we'll produce it, answer your questions on directly to you or any way you want. But the thing is that you need to send remarks. And how do you expand it? I don't even know, Jean.
Yeah, we can, leave your questions and comments on Facebook or Instagram. I know we've had a lot of comments on Instagram. They're loving everything we're doing. They're loving this new format as far as just digging into your life and hearing about your early days and how you got started. Plus, people are commenting nice things they liked about the shows that we've done before with some of our guests. So,
so we're going to mix it up, but
that's right. Keep the questions on those. That's a great format. And while we're at it, if you'll follow the show, that way you never miss an episode. Follow the show. We're on Instagram, we're on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts. You can also watch us on YouTube. So we appreciate all your nice things that you're saying about us, and all the questions that you have that you send to us is just going to bring up more shows about topics that you want to hear about. So keep them coming.
All right. So let's get into the mailbag, my darling.
All right. Well, we've got quite a few. One says, "Hi, Gianni. I love your show. I can't wait to listen each week to hear about all of your wild adventures. What was your first big purchase when you got to Las Vegas?"
A purchase in Vegas?
Right. What was your big thing that you bought for yourself that you liked? And that's from Joe in Nebraska.
Well, I brought a lot of toys with me, but my best toy, I think, was when I opened State Street. Tom Selleck from Magnum PR got a gift from Ferrari of a black Ferrari convertible. And they didn't realize he was superstitious of black.
Oh, really?
So he's telling me this at my bar, him and Larry Minetti from the show. And I said, listen, I'll take it from you. He said, what do you mean? I said, and we've been drinking. I said, I don't even know what the car's worth. I'll give you 50,000 cash right now. Put it in your pocket.
Oh my gosh.
You're kidding me. So I got a napkin and I wrote out a bill of sale. I had my guy go to my safe and I gave him 50 grand.
Oh my gosh.
Put it in his pocket. And what's even better than that, some friends of mine that were friends of Larry Minetti also, Al Sachs, he had a jet. They were from the Stardust Hotel. So they flew them home. So I put a doorman and my DJ on the plane with them to take the car back. because I
Oh
didn't
my
want to change
God.
his mind. This is a crazy stunt. So they get there, and it was in like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning now. You can't start a Ferrari up without waking up the neighborhood. So I said, don't start the car. Roll it out of his garage, take it away from the house, and then start it up because I have a funny feeling his wife's going to wake up and they're going to say, "What are you doing?" Let him go explain it without you there, and the car's gone. And they
Right.
did that.
Oh
So
my gosh.
5 hours later, the sun's coming up, and I hear the car outside. Whoa, whoa. And I come out there, and there's this new car. So I would have to say that was one of the best things I ever got while I was there because I already had a lot of cars, and my drivers brought them in different places where I was. But that quadruport Mondali black convertible Ferrari was history. History. In fact, I'll tell you what a great deal I made. Oh, a funny story. His business manager called me the next week and he said, "Mr. Russo, I heard you bought Tom's car. Well, he can't sell it to you."
Oh
I
no.
said, "Well, that's his problem." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I have a bill of sale." And he
Right.
signed off on it. And I gave him $50,000. And I said, all once you receive the cash, because I know how to write contracts, once you receive the cash, the sale is
Yeah,
final.
you took the money.
No, that's it. So you have a bill of sale? I said, yeah. I said, well, he didn't tell me that. I said, well, he's your client, not mine. So, and I hung up on a guy.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
But I kept that car for a while. And then somebody came to me, wanted it, and they gave me 175,000 for it. So I would think, who was the gentleman that asked this?
Oh, was it Joe from Nebraska?
Okay, good.
That's
Joe,
a great
great
one.
question.
Thanks, Joe. That's a great story. All right. Let's see. Oh, this is from Sherry in Nevada. You never have talked about Liberace. You had to have met him somewhere along the way. Thanks for the great episodes. I never miss them.
Well, Liberace was a good friend of ours, actually. I liked the guy. And I used to go see him at the International Hotel. And for people who didn't see him during that time, this is, when the hotel opened in the late 60s, early 70s, he used to drive a Rolls Royce on stage. That's how he made his entrance and got out of the car. And, most people don't see a four-door Rolls Royce, and his was tricked out. So I mean, we got good to be good friends. He used to come to State Street a lot because, again, I offered to eat gourmet food till 6 in the morning. So a lot of those people came. It was, and basically the whole entertainment community came. So that's a great story about Liberace. We remained friends forever,
That's
and
all.
I think his house became a museum. It was
Oh,
right up Tropicana Avenue. I think if you're going to Vegas, just go to the Liberace Museum. All his stuff is there, his clothes. I mean, he was such an extravagant guy.
absolutely. Well, since you mentioned that, let me see where I can. I've got questions coming from every corner. Um, Enjoying your stories, having been to Vegas only a few times, I'm sure I must be looking in the wrong place. But using Google Maps, I looked up Harmon Avenue and Flamingo Road only to discover they run parallel and there's no intersection. I'm using the Google Street View. When Colville Lane was
Culver
at,
Lane and Harmon Avenue. Culver Lane is the cross street that goes
okay.
from Las Vegas Boulevard to Harmon Avenue. So that's why.
All right, Bethany, there's your answer. And I'm like you, Bethany, and I have been to Vegas quite a bit, but I'm like, and it's a not developed land, right? Is it
No,
developed or
I
it's
still
just
have
a
23 acres blank.
blank?
Everybody
Yeah,
built around me, which only increased the wealth, the
right.
value of it. But
Well, that's funny because I thought I'm gonna get on Google Maps so I can at least have a,
You could see my kids do it. They're the ones that taught me that.
so you can see it? And that's what I thought was so funny. I thought, well, I'm going to get on there and look too. I thought just like she
There it
did,
is.
I thought it's
You
just
could do it.
it's
Yeah.
just a square piece of land with nothing developed on it. So
And you
that was
could tell because it's surrounded by major hotels.
yeah,
You
that's
know,
what you said.
the
The
Grand,
MGM.
the Grand, which was the Tropicana Golf Course when I bought the land. Then MGM Grand bought all of that, and they put a big amusement park in right up to my property. So everything they did improved my land. In fact, Paul Anka opened Jubilation right across the street from my land too. So I mean, it was like, and I was living at the Marie Antoinette right on the corner of Harmon and Colville. So it's still there. Everything is still there. But
Uh,
like most people say, they go into Vegas and it doesn't have the same excitement. Well, it doesn't. You're not in the wrong neighborhood. It died out.
right.
Every showroom don't have two shows a night with stars. Most of them are variety shows, or they're doing a dedication show, a tribute show, and they close all the lounges. I used to go to the lounges, see Louis Prima, Kelly Smith, everybody, Freddie Bell. They made them all slot arcades.
Yeah.
The
I,
dollar. I mean,
I love the lounge acts. I mean, you can
oh, me
see
too.
some of my favorite things have been in there.
Oh,
So,
I met Don Rickles when he was a lounge act.
oh
He was a
wow.
lounge. And then Sinatra started patronizing him. And he was the only guy that can get away. When Sinatra used to walk in, he'd say, "Oh, the skinny guineas here."
That's right.
So I mean, the memories I have, and I mean, I treasure them. And we only talked about 30 years, which was 59 to 89. But it went on when I came back and visited. But
Right. Right.
great
All right.
question.
Yeah. Ray from Fort Lauderdale said, you talk about all the different things that you did in Las Vegas and the many different acts that you've seen. Did you ever have any dealings with the magicians, David Copperfield, etc.?
Oh yeah, David was a good friend of mine also. Well, David had residents. They built a room for him.
Where was
David
it?
had a show, and I forgot what hotel it is, right on the strip. He was there for years. And what a nice man, really a nice man. Well, we
Oh,
had a couple of great illusionists there at that time too. I mean, that Siegfried and Roy. I mean, look,
oh,
they were illusionists. And
oh
and
yeah.
and what's interesting now that triggering my memory, the Bacchanal room in Caesar's Palace had an illusionist, Jimmy Grippo. I couldn't believe this guy because you'd come in and he'd come to your table and you worked on tips. Somebody got to pay you, got a salary also. But I mean, he would come and do things you couldn't believe and he did it to me. He said, put your hand under the table. And then he had a silver dollar and he started banging on the table. He's tell me when you start feeling it going through the table. I said, what? He's tell me when you feel it start going through the table. And I started feeling it going through the table. Now, I don't know if there was, I don't know how he did it, but
Right.
in a matter of a minute, I had a silver dollar in my hand.
Oh my gosh.
No, I mean, that's why, I mean, when you start to talk about Vegas, it's like, it's insane what went on there.
So many fun things. All right. So I have Nancy in Idaho. She said, did you ever have any interactions with the Osmonds family?
No, I
Tony
didn't.
Marie?
No, no, they were nice kids. And I remember them as kids. And I'm like, what am I going to do with them? I mean, I met them that early. Donnie was a little kid. In fact, Donnie, right after Nancy Sinatra opened Caesars, they came back as her opening act.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I mean, but I mean, I look all the kids I have. I don't spend time with them. I'm not going to go spend time with the Osmond brothers. What am I going to do with them? They were little kids.
Well, I have a question. So after you brought the roses to Sinatra's daughter, was she mad at you or was she happy or
Well, she
how did
was happy.
oh
Her
good. I
father
know
was
Frank was
pissed.
mad.
Well, Frank was pissed, but he got over it too. No, I
Yeah,
mean, she got press all over the world on that alone. You know,
yeah.
I mean, it became a thing. Who was that guy?
Who is that? Gianni Russo
Yeah,
coming in like Batman with
that
his cape.
flamboyant young man.
And how old were you?
I
34?
was
30?
34, 34. Yeah.
I do have to say you were gutsy for being that age.
I've always been gutsy. Once I got out of the polio ward and I had the backing of people like Costello, Meyer Lansky, they gave me the ground rules. They said, don't disrespect anybody. Go have fun. If anybody gives you a problem, call us. You know what that is to a guy like me?
Yeah,
They gave me the keys to the
Keys to
world.
the
Go
city.
do what
Yeah,
you want to do.
that's exactly right. All right, well, we're close enough while we have a quick little break. Let's go ahead and take a quick, uh, make a little money commercial, and then we'll come right back and get to the rest of these questions.
All right, please.
All
All right,
right.
we'll be right back. Now, don't go anywhere. And remember, go to johnnyrusso.com. There's a lot of stuff for sale right now, memorabilia, all kinds of things. That's only one avenue. Listen to the commercial, you'll hear something else. We'll be right back.
Great.
There's a rumor going around that I make vodka. Not only do I make vodka, but the Robb Report has just picked our vodka as one of the best vodkas in the world. That's the Robb Report. And it's made in Italy. It's quadruple distilled. And if you want to buy it online, you can get it at All Star in Albany, All Star Wines and Spirits. Just call them, tell the owner, Gianni Russo told me to call Corleone Vodka. It's a great combination. God bless you. All right, we're back with the second segment of our mailbag. And as I said in the beginning of the show, Jeannie and I love hearing from you. Please keep the cards and letters coming in. That's a statement that Dean Martin used to make every Thursday night on the shows. Keep the cards and letters coming in, baby.
That's right. Dean, I grew up watching those kids. I don't know. I was so young, I don't even remember, but what I watched him on, it seemed like a variety type show that I remember seeing him on. But
Dean, yeah, that's
yeah,
what he did. He had all kinds of
that was,
acts on. And then what I really liked was the last segment of the show, the last commercial break. He said, we're going to go to the couch. And then they go to the
oh,
break and come back, and he was on the couch.
oh, funny.
And you never knew who was going to come through there's a door in the corner. And anybody
Oh,
that just wanted to stop by would just walk through the door. So he would hold you, it was brilliant production because it would hold you to the end because you wanted to see who's coming in. I mean, everybody came through that door. So now you name them, they were all there. But
how
Dean had a
fun.
tremendous respect.
Well, that's fantastic. All right, so let's see. Sally from Dayton, Ohio. She said, I'm looking forward to your next book. I know you've talked about it, but I don't recall when you said that's coming out. Can you refresh my memory?
Please. I just turned it in. It's my third book. And my first book, thanks to all of you, is still a bestseller. If you go on Amazon, we're still selling it. It's out 3 years. So, I mean, in the book world, that book was my first book, I didn't know what a best-selling book was.
You
I
know
never read a
now.
book, but I thought it was millions of copies. You're a bestseller when you sell 75,000, 100,000.
Oh,
Well,
really?
I'm into the millions yet. So they're saying, why would we release it in a book? Let this keep going. So that's what I'm doing. So to answer your question, we made it a day to debut the book. It's going to be the winter of 26
Okay.
because I didn't realize in the book world, they try to release them then because then it becomes a big summer read on the beaches and holidays.
Oh,
And then again, they have another big bump for a Christmas gift. So
oh,
the book will be out the winter, like January, February. of 2026. It's called Mafia Secrets. And I just happen to know a few.
Yeah, you sure do. All right. You mentioned we've got stuff for sale on our on the website. So the question was, and this is from Steve. Steve said, I've looked for your vodka. Where can I buy it? Is it in stores or do we
Yeah.
buy it from you?
No, I can't. I'm not international sales, but a friend of mine, All Star Wines and Spirits, up in Albany. Look him up, All Star Wines and Spirits. He has a license, so just call him and tell him you want to buy it, and they'll ship it to you. And the good news about it, he never changed the price, even after the Robb Report picked it as one of the best vodkas in the world, and that was in 2023. So it's
Yeah.
All Star Wines and Spirits right outside of Albany, and you can find it, and they'll ship it to you.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I know I love my bottle. We opened one because it came with two. We opened one, but everyone comes over, they're like, hey, I'm like, do not touch that.
No, but I'll send you more. You
That
can
looks.
put it up there with water in it. Nobody's going to know.
Well, let me just tell you, when I got married a second time on my honeymoon, and my ex, I tell you all the time, I go and house sit for him and his gal all the time when they're out of town. But so I was on my honeymoon and I ran across that Frank Sinatra bottle of wine.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this had to be 29 years ago with Frank Sinatra on it. So I could spend forever just looking around liquor stores, and I don't like anything, but I love those great bottles. And I have to say that vodka bottle of yours is one of the best designs. So, all
Thank
right. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. All right. Give me 1 second because I got a whole bunch of these that came on my phone that I had to save. You guys should touch on the most recent outfit news. The Gary Gagliano crew ordeal, Mean Gene Casano. These guys are pressing making me sound like I can't say all these names because I can't. Gia Ochino, what's that?
Well, where are they from? What town? Where?
I don't know. It just said Gene Cassiano, Gio. It looks like Pinocchio. Galleone, the craziest trial of Dorkson Federal Building in many years. All charges were dropped because of the words LCN/OC were spoken out loud.
Who cares? Moving
All right.
on.
I
You
don't
don't
know
know.
I don't even know
The
what
only
that.
thing coming out of Boston was the Whitey Bulger great story. I don't know who these guys are.
Okay, I've never heard of him either. So
Thank you, though,
uh,
but we don't know. We
yeah,
need more information. We'll look it up.
right. All right, so this is from Chip. He said, what were the Rat Pack's, Elvis, Marilyn Monroe's favorite cocktails? And when they were in Vegas, did they hang out in the casinos in their spare time or more at home?
Not
So,
at home. We hung out. Most of us hung out in Jack and Trotter's private house built on the Sands Hotel. That swimming pool was like the Ed Sullivan show every night. The people that were in that pool. So that's what we did. We all went after the second show and they got something to eat. They'd all go to Jack and Trotter's backyard. It was all Italian cypress. You couldn't get to it. You didn't know it. If you didn't have a combination to the gate, you wouldn't even know it was over there. It was basically for high rollers and celebrities. And the drink during that time was Jack Daniels, man.
oh,
Jack
really?
Daniels. Oh, yeah. They were
Jack
drinking
Coke?
heavy booze. And well, Dean always did. And
Oh, yeah.
when I saw and I witnessed it, Ava Gardner drank Dean and Frank Sinatra under the table.
Oh,
Under the table. They were drunk and she was still drinking. Sammy Davis had a different habit. His stuff wasn't liquid, but
but he was still partying, huh?
oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah. They were the
Yeah.
days.
All right. This is another question. This is from Chip also. How did the mob launder their casino money? And if you tell me, will you have to kill me?
No, I've told it. It's in my book. Nick Nitti, my partner, and I, we started. We were illegal couriers, taking money out of Vegas. We did it for years, and we were taking it to the Vatican, and the Vatican was redepositing it to where it had to go. It wasn't until Howard Hughes came into the town and infiltrated it with all FBI agents and Bill Dana. I know their names yet. All of them were there. Bob Mayhew. And that's when the town got organized and the mob was out. I was ready to go anyway. I mean, I spent so much time there. But and then all the cameras. I could never do a tenth of what I've done in my childhood today. People would be photographing it, and now that I got a face that they knew, but before then they didn't know me. Everybody knew me as the kid
Right.
until
And you
the
were
Godfather.
quiet, observed.
But not only that, before the Godfather,
Oh,
nobody even knew my name.
that's wild. Well, it's funny that you say that about cameras everywhere, because they'll say, what's something that someone told you when you were young that was famous words of wisdom? And my son said to me the other day, you told me, don't be doing anything you shouldn't do because there's cameras everywhere. And they were young. I remember telling him that, but that's so true. And even more today. I just
Oh,
met
now
their
more so than
bailiffs
ever.
to get
Oh,
you.
when I was a kid, there was no cameras anywhere.
Right.
You were lucky
Right.
you saw a Brownie camera. And
Yeah.
then the big thing, most people don't know this, Vegas, the casinos, cameras were barred. You couldn't come in with a camera.
Oh, that's right. You were saying that about
No,
your
because
bar.
first of all, they didn't want if a guy was there cheating on his wife or something. That was a place to come. That's where the phrase came, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, because you can't even leave on a photograph.
That's right. Oh,
And
I love it.
the only cameras that were allowed were concessions at the hotel. You'd go and get the picture taken, or they'd send it to the restaurant and you pose. And they,
Right.
you didn't get the negative, you just got the picture you bought.
Oh, yeah. People would walk around and take your picture for money.
Oh, I know. Not now, no. Even then, the concession's owned by the hotel.
Yeah.
You couldn't just get somebody walking around taking a picture. No,
No, no. Well, especially where you
Question.
guys were hanging out. Great question. All right. And you brought it up, and this was the second half of his question. He said, why did Howard Hughes move from LA to Vegas, and why did the mob sell their casinos?
Well, he moved in because, unbeknownst to us, the American citizen, they made a helicopter deal with him during the Vietnam War. They gave him the exclusive helicopter deal, which was enormous, hundreds of millions of dollars, with the understanding he would start buying hotels and front the hotels. Because, see, there was no way for the federal government to infiltrate its private businesses. They're not allowed in private business. So they had to go in legitimately. So Bill Dana, the major guy, was Bob Mayhew. He actually retired and took over Hughes Properties to run them. And he filed for a license and everything else. They brought in FBI cocktail waitresses, FBI dealers, because they realized everybody, like a cocktail waitress, could make $200 during a night. They're reporting $30 in their income tax.
Right.
So they had a, it took them 3 years to get it under control, but I think they destroyed it. I like Vegas when the mob run it. Now it's like, forget about it.
Oh yeah, now it's crazy. There's kids everywhere. I mean, there's
Oh,
not anywhere that, well, I'm sure at a bar, but it's kind of like there's not anywhere. The kids are allowed everywhere.
yeah,
Lots
no.
of places, I should say, not
Well,
everywhere.
see, what the laymen don't know, there are stroller paths. They call them paths, but they're carved into the rugs. So when you have a stroller, they'll tell you only ride on like you could be playing 21, 10 feet away from your kid if he's in the carriage over here and somebody's watching him.
Yeah.
Who the hell wants to go down there and see strollers and kids? Most people will go in there to get away from their kids.
Right, right. Well, and it's funny you say that because now they have such big things down there. In fact, a couple nights ago, my kids said to me, "Mom, my little grandson has a tournament down in Las Vegas," and said, "Yeah."
Oh,
Well,
the
my
sports
daughter's like,
tournament. Yeah. Oh, no.
"Yeah,
Oh, no.
there's
That's become
everything
big
down
now.
there now."
Oh, yeah. No, they're
So,
bringing everything in. I mean, they're building. They built a baseball arena,
oh,
basketball arena. No,
the
it's
football teams
yeah, it's a big
aren't the Raiders.
major metropolis for that.
Yeah,
They're not making the money they used to. Hello.
sure. Well, he's 11, and actually that is, you'd be surprised how much of a paycheck goes into a little league anymore. But
Oh
yeah,
no, I know that.
no,
No, but
no, it's but yeah,
I
there's
mean
just
the
so
high
much.
rollers are not
No,
going
I
there.
know, I was kidding, but
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not like it used to be where it was, grown
An
up.
adult playground.
Exactly, exactly.
That's
Now
what it
it's for
was.
everybody. That's exactly right. All right. Well, now's a great time to take another quick break.
Okay, please. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. We have some great stuff yet. Please.
Mr. Russo is probably the most interesting man I've ever sat with in my life.
Unbelievable. Still unbelievable. I consider Gianni like Forrest Gump, right? The most interesting man on the planet.
He has achieved so much in his life, and he has proven that time reveals the victorious.
We're basically bringing Gianni Russo's life to rap music, if that makes any sense. I'm painting a picture of this guy's life through rap music the best way that I know how.
We're trying to encapsulate his life in segments, chapters if you want to call them that. And Gianni's story's crazy, but then Joel as an artist being able to articulate it, that's also crazy. Everything that you're hearing, this isn't a rapper that's making up something that he wished would have happened. These are things that have happened, that are documented, that you can check on, that you can Google. For you to hear about his life this way and to understand that these are facts and not fiction, you listen to it, you're gonna say, no one man could have lived this life. You have to say that. I've said that, I still say that.
For me, it's very special because it's something that was never done before.
I would just tell people that haven't heard it or about to hear it, if you could watch a movie about the world's most interesting person, would you watch it? This is that movie. You'd want to watch that.
Okay, we're back.
All righty. Okay, let's see. Back to my questions here. Okay. Oh, this is one. They said, Gianni, you have mentioned that you've been married several times. What was the longest time you were married?
That's a good one. The longest time I was married, 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. And that was I don't want to mention her name, but we had 2 kids together, next to almost my last. And then I can't even tell you why I had to leave, but they were going to indict me to come and testify in New York against John Gotti.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. I left.
Sayonara.
I was going. I used to leave the country a lot, and that breaks up marriages.
Oh, that'll do it. But plus, I'd imagine once you got out of town, it'd be hard to keep your interest back at home. So,
No, well, I didn't even want to touch on it. We could talk about that
Yeah.
all night.
No.
It's not. That's too personal.
yeah, no, I just
But
said that was a
to
funny
answer
question.
your question, it was 10 years.
10 years. Well, that's awesome.
No, it was great. We had
The
2 kids, a
record.
boy and a girl.
And you know what? Not only that, sorry, that's the sound of freedom right there. I live by an Air Force base, so give it just a second. We'll let them thank them. And
We can't even hear them.
oh, you can't? Oh, it's so
No.
loud here. All right. Back to this other question. Oh, the one. When is the miniseries that you did about Frank Costello going to be released?
Good question. November on Fox.
Nice.
This November coming up, and they're simultaneously releasing it with Scorsese's movie, where De Niro plays Vito Genovese and Frank Costello. I can't
Oh.
believe he's playing both of them.
Right, Alto Nights,
Yep. Yep.
Catherine Narducci.
Yep. Catherine Narducci's playing not Costello's wife, Loretta. She's playing Vito Genovese's wife.
Oh, that's right.
Because Loretta was Jewish, and obviously Narducci is Italian. There's no hiding that from her.
No, no, she's so stinking cute. I follow her on Instagram, and what a cute lady.
Oh my
She's
God, yeah.
sassy.
So
Yeah,
so genuine, so genuine.
yeah, I really liked her. She was a fun guest. All right, so we had one last question. It sounds like you had a lot of great businesses going in Nevada. What type of businesses did you start once you moved to New York? And that's from Anthony.
Well, I didn't sell anything. I never did. I
Well,
had people
you had your wigs,
Well,
right?
I'm sorry. I thought you said when I left for New York, I got rid of
Oh,
things. No,
when you left Las Vegas, did you leave from Las Vegas and just live in New York after that?
no, no. I went to
Here
California
and
for a
there.
while,
Okay.
then I went to Monaco. No,
Oh,
no, this has been my base where I'm sitting now. This has been
oh,
my
it's
base
always been there, huh?
since I'm 13. I
Oh,
just
okay.
leave it, lock the door. I have my houseboys right down the corner in my building in 4A. I have two other units here. And no, there's always someone here. No, I have like 3 or 4 locations like that. No.
You never, you're like so do you have any businesses in, I know you had restaurants and everything else. Do you have any businesses? I know you're running a lot of like your clothing business and your food business. Do you have any other businesses there in New York?
No. What I'm doing now, and I'm leaving, as you know, I'm leaving to Baku this Sunday, which we'll be doing shows from there. No, I'm expanding the Corleone brand where you can go on Corleone, find Italian and see that. But that brand in itself, it's the most recognized brand in the world, other than Mickey Mouse. Do you believe that?
Wow.
And I own the exclusive on it for food and spirits. You don't need anything else.
Well, that's right. So now you own the brand. So I called you, I sent you a text one day. I'm like, Gianni, someone's made a what did I tell you, a slot machine. And you said, yeah, I know.
It's ours. Yeah, we did it. We did it about 8
I,
years ago.
I
No,
thought
we
I was,
licensed it because I made a deal with the Brando estate. Marlon and I were very close. So I own his image and his voice in every movie. So I could digitize him. Right now, A1, I got a big marketing plan coming up for next year. It's gonna be insane when you see Marlon Brando in every grocery store. And when you walk up to him, he talks to you because
I
I
know, I can't
digitized his
wait.
voice. It's going to be major, major. No,
That
I'm
is,
not doing anything where, onesies and all that. I have 2,300 employees now.
yeah,
I don't
you've
even
always
know who
got
they
some.
are.
Does your name go get stamped on their paychecks?
No, 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 no. It's MJ licensing. In fact, I just brought on a young, brilliant kid. He's my new CEO, Brian Esposito. Got a major, major following in the food world. He comes from the retail world. His father I met many years ago. His father was marketing not only Vidal Sassoon, but Paul Mitchell products. So this kid has been inbred in marketing. And I'm proud to say he's running everything.
That's fantastic.
He'll call me if he needs me. He's never going to need me. I always say I don't go to the office. I go to the bank. Make sure the money keeps going.
I love it. I wish I had something, I needed a CEO to help keep track of my money.
Well, we're trying to get you. We got to do something. What we're doing now. What we're doing. This
That's right.
you got to. This has got to
We're-
become very lucrative for you.
Well, it's
You're
such
very
a
good at it.
Well, I absolutely love it. I look forward to it every week, and that's the end of our questions. That's the end of our mailbag. Thank you everybody for those great questions. Like we said, keep them coming in because it's
Oh yeah,
awesome.
please. We love this segment. We want to keep it going, and we want to do shows that you want. So request them.
That's right. And I love that every question seems to spark another story of not only answer the question, but then tell us about something else.
Oh yeah, well, it has to. That's what life's about.
Right. And these are great hearing about all your wild days in Las Vegas because they're fantastic. So
Well, with
thanks
that
for
said,
sharing.
have a great weekend. Stay healthy. Remember, our new show drops every Wednesday, and we got some great shows coming out.
That's
God
right.
bless
Please
you all.
share them. Share them with your friends. If you rate and review, that's always good for us, and we sure appreciate it. But thanks for joining us today. We appreciate you.
All right, my love. Appreciate you. Be safe.
I
Good
will.
night,
You too.
everyone.
All right. Good night or day.
And that was that. But I'll be back.
No regrets, no complaints. Lived a life with no restraints. The little kid they all counted out, proved them all wrong, that's without a doubt. Laying there with my left side numb, 5-year bout with polio, but yes, I won. From standing on corners like how many pens you want to living in a bakery, then opening my own restaurant. Of course, I had some help along the way, friends like Frank Costello that I miss each and every day. Things from many years ago still resonate.